Alright, hello. We're at the start of Back to the Future, the opening scene. Okay, Marty's just come in the door, the skateboard has just rolled across the floor, and it's just run into the plutonium here. Okay, we're going to be looking at how this all ties in with the CRM 114 and the connection back to Charlie Kirk. Okay, anyway, like I was saying, we're at this, we need to get to this spot, okay, because this is an important reference to do with this as well, okay, where the skateboard hits into the plutonium here, okay, and then if we move on, we get to the next scene and we actually see the CRM 114 down here, and there's a key slot here, okay, so Marty's going to turn the amp or speaker, the big amp on. Now, you've got to ask the question, why the hell does he need a key to turn this thing on? It's not a car or anything, is it? It's inside the Doc's house or garage house. Okay, why does he need a key to turn this thing on? This is an important reference here. Okay, but we've got the CRM 114. So where I'm going to go with this is that we already know, don't we, that Charlie Kirk's birthday, okay, is, you just simply put a 0 in there, it's 1014, okay, so simply just put the 0 in here, oops, and you've got Charlie Kirk's birthday. That's the first thing that's important. The next thing that's important is the CRM. So what we need to do is we need to look at CRM. So let's go and look at CRM. And don't forget, this whole scene is about kind of the death of the speaker, which is interesting because Charlie Kirk was a speaker, and then the rebirth, because you see Marty fly back, you know, and the chord from the guitar forms the umbilical cord, if you like. It's Marty's rebirth here, so death and resurrection again. You know, I hope most people are pretty aware of where we're at with this scene. Okay, it's, you know, see on the thumbnail there with the big speaker. Okay, I'll just show you. Okay, it's this scene where this thing blows up, because of course there might be somebody out there that hasn't seen Back to the Future before. Oh dear. Okay, anyway, he's putting the key in the slot before he can start this thing up. Okay, bear that in your back of your mind. Let's go look at CRM and see what's important about it. 34, 16, 47, 20. Nothing completely crazy there. Okay, what we really want to do is we really want to look at the individual letters here and what number they form. Let me write them out a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. Okay, so this is all the letters, the numbers that correspond with the letters, just right here. 31813. Again, blooming excuse me, palindropic. Okay, so a balance number, right? A beginning and an end number, if you like, a reflective number. Let's just do a number jump now with this 31813, and we want to go back from the death of Charlie Kirk, okay, and we're going to see where that's going to bring us. Okay, so here's our number jump back. Okay, do I need to highlight it? Not really. And it takes us back to this date here. Okay, so I went and looked up the 6th of August 1938, and lo and behold, guess where we end up at? We end up with a character, Charlie Chan. Okay, Charlie Chan. Let me show you this character here, who is like This is one of his best known roles as Charlie Chan, and let me show you the actor that's playing Charlie Chan here. Okay, now we can see his death date corresponds. So the death of the actor that plays Charlie Chan corresponds back to, oops, wrong one, back to 8 or 8/6/1938. Okay, the 6th of August 1938. 6th of August 1938. Warner Oland. There are some other interesting bits and pieces, but I just want to keep this video relatively short. We will just mention a couple of things, right? Let's just backtrack back to Charlie Chan, the character that he's best known for. Look at the first and last appearances here, okay, for Charlie Chan. A house without a key, keeper of the keys. Okay, this key reference with Charlie Chan. Yeah, the key reference here. I always thought it was a bit odd that he did put a key in to turn the speaker on. Maybe that is why they have that key going in the slot there with the CRM. Okay, so what I also thought was really interesting about this Charlie Chan thing was I noticed Roland Winters also played Charlie Chan. Okay, let's just look at his birth and death. November the 22nd. So we've got a JFK assassination reference with this character, with Roland. Okay, October the 22nd. This is pretty mental because this is the date that I've got coming up pegged for Madonna's death this year. So this is extremely interesting because there's a huge amount of ties with Madonna and Charlie Kirk. Okay, Madonna's daughter is born on a 10/14 date as well, so this all becomes relatively interesting. Okay, anyway, that was just interesting. Why did Roland stand out to me? Well, if you watched the Falling Down decode, you will have noticed that, and I mentioned this in the thing, I didn't really know what it tied to at the time, but subsequently seeing this Roland here and the Roland down here where the explosion takes place. Okay, this is the Charlie Kirk scene in Falling Down, or one of the Charlie Kirk scenes in Falling Down. Okay, the Twin Towers here and the guys yelling, "Charlie, we've got a nut," and don't forget that Kirk Douglas, who's doing the shooting the bazooka thing, missile launcher missile down the tube here, his middle name is Kirk. Okay, so anyway, this Roland showing up here. Okay, super duper interesting. And one thing I would just note as well that is marginally interesting about this is note this crane here. I wondered why they had this crane, and they also have the scaffolding looking twin towers here, but this reminds me of something. Okay, it reminds me of the Key Bridge. Yeah, another key reference, the Key Bridge going down. Okay, the crane, I don't know if you can make the, I guess I could move this on a bit, but you see this crane that is there. The mast for the crane is, let's see, let's back that up. Yeah, there we go. You can see the mast for that crane, yeah, is again the same sort of structure, a very similar looking structure to the sort of ironwork that's in the Key Bridge. All these cross braced trussy type things. Okay, so super duper interesting there. And if we just go back, let me just tie this in because I know a lot of you are thinking, hang on a minute, the CRM 114 comes out of Doctor Strangelove, and it's also in some other Kubrick stuff as well, but blimmin' hell, I want to keep this thing short. So the Doctor Strangelove connection again. Remember, right at the start of this scene, what do we see? The reference to the nuclear potential. Let's just call it the nuclear potential here. Okay, moving straight into this. Okay, so this is very interesting because if you've seen Doctor Strangelove, you'll know that it's about essentially World War III, basically. All right, and the start of World War III. So the CRM 114 is in here. It's the thing that sends the codes through to the people that are going to drop the bomb. I think it's been a while since I've seen the film. Anyway, I thought, well, I'll just do a couple of number jumps, or maybe just look at one number jump, which was from the release of the film, Jan 29th, 64. This is going back quite a bit now, 64. Through to Charlie Kirk's death was 22505. Now, what is it? Okay, it's not a super duper interesting number by itself, but when you couple it with the fact that in the film, the thing that starts World War III is essentially it's a bomb on board a B-52 bomber, and they fail to be able to recall this bomber after it's been sent off to go and drop bombs on Russia. They're unable to recall it, right? Anyway, to cut a long story short, let me see, where is he? I don't know where I've got that up now. I had, and I don't know where I've got it, but if you come down here and just read about what happens, okay, so they can't, so their equipment, their radio has gone down, so they can't be recalled, right? And what ends up happening is they drop the bomb, and if you've seen the film, Major Kong here rides the bomb down like a bucking bronco. Okay, he's riding on top of the bomb. He has to go and open the doors manually to get the bomb out. And so anyway, look, hoots and waves his cowboy hat as he rides the falling bomb, to his death. What is interesting about this is just if you recall, and in fact, maybe no, I don't remember where I got him. Here it is. This was my Victor Charlie spy game decode with Charlie Kirk's death in it. The guy that is the radio person in that scene, the radio person, they're having a problem with this aircraft's radio, happens to be the guy that's playing that happens to be, his name is, I can just about read it, Freddie Farnsworth. Freddie Joe Farnsworth. Okay. He just happens to be a bronc rider. Okay. Absolutely unbelievable. In fact, I want to say in that scene in Falling Down, there might even be a Bronco in the traffic line up there. I can't remember. But anyway, again, to cut a long story short, he has the March 26th birthday. He's the radio guy. They have the problem with the radio in the aeroplane, and he is also a bronc rider, just like Major Kong is going to ride that bomb down like a bronc rider. And remember, the March the 26th was the key bridge. Okay. Okay. Just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. In fact, I've got so much stuff, as you can see all these tabs up here. I've got so much stuff to do, and a lot of it's for Madonna for the 22nd of October. I've got a whole bunch of stuff for her, and it's pretty good stuff. So we're going to see But I need to get a move on and get that stuff out, because if I don't, it'll be here and done before I got the prediction out. But anyway, I've already done a little bit. If you go back a couple of videos, back to the snatch decode, you'll see I've got some stuff on Madonna on the 22nd of October in there. But it's just little things like, you know, you start seeing little, you know, more little references. Again, the newspaper in Back to the Future 2 is dated the 22nd of October. Okay. Again, that's the scene, that's the hoverboard scene, when that's the reference back to the Hoover Dam. And again, they actually go back to the 21st, but the newspaper's for the 22nd in that scene. And we've done a whole bunch of connections back to the 22nd with that particular scene. So again, the idea of Madonna tying in with the idea of the Hoover Dam. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to put up another little video that's kind of a little teaser video for Madonna here in a minute, and I will then start on the Madonna stuff, although I've got a couple of other things to do with Charlie Kirk still as well. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Right, cheers. Right, bye.